What would be your landing percentage if you flipped 15 feet back in a little bit deeper water over some cable grass? Our cable grass in the Northwest is the same thing as kind of like your guys' primrose. Some kind of a real veiny grass that's really, really hard to get fish through. What would be your landing percentage? We studied that when we developed this rod, the Mag Hitter, a 7'10" Mag Heavy. It took us 4 summers to figure out the right bend, the right rod for punching in hard to get fish out of heavy, horrible cover. Like when you got to flip back into real nasty brush. What is the best rod for that? That is the Mag Hitter. And the trick to that is the way we developed the taper, how it handles all the pressure you put on that fish over the course of the hook set and the time that you pull them from that cover. So the answer was 59%. Get into the nitty gritty. The reason for that is when you have your rod out and it's going out at say 45-degree angle, then it drops and you get that bite. Physics says you're gonna lose about 30% of your hook setting power. So let's say you could put 20 pounds worth of pressure on a fish when you swing hard if it's a direct pull. In this scenario, with that bend in the line, with it going over the cable grass or the brush, you're gonna lose 30%. So you're gonna only be putting like 14 pounds of pressure. And that's if there's no friction in the line going over. That's if when you set really hard that you have a really hard edge. If that grass moves a little bit, it's gonna take some of your energy away. If it digs into any of the cover when you set the hook, you're gonna lose it. So instead of that full 20 pounds, whatever pounds of pressure you're gonna put on that fish when you set the hook, you're gonna have to take 30 to 35% of that pressure off. The problem with that is you're gonna have a hard time getting a really good hook set. And this is the scenario where you need that fish pinned because you're gonna pull them to that cover. And if that's a big, big fish, you pull them to that cover and it's really hard cover like that, 90% of the time you're going in and getting them. So if you don't have a good hook set and he's flopping around at the base of that cover, you're gonna lose him. It's guaranteed. So what we did when we developed the Mag Hitter is we have a very even taper. Brian Smith just won the Delta on it last year, the BAM Pro-Am Delta on it, catching big ones. He caught like a 9-pounder. He had to pin that fish and go in and get it. We developed the Mag Hitter for that scenario so that when they're pulled to the surface and they're thrashing around, you won't lose them. You're gonna put a nice even pressure on them. It's gonna be good bend. It's gonna have them, but it's not gonna pull so hard it rips the hook out or it gives them leverage. So here's the number one hack we learned in all of our studies when developing the Mag Hitter. And in this scenario, not every scenario, but one that we're almost kind of reluctant to talk about, and you're not gonna like it. I'm gonna tell you right now, the number one trick that we have found is if you're having a hard time catching fish in the scenario we talked about where you're flipping way back into stringy, heavy cover, is switch to an EWG hook. And there's a couple of my buddies that are gonna be mad I'm talking about this, but what ends up happening with an EWG hook is, 1, yes, you're gonna get hung up more. 2, you're gonna use more baits. But it tends to kind of rope them and actually hang them. It takes less pressure to get an EWG hook into their mouth, into the side of their mouth, into the roof of their mouth than it does a flipping hook, because a flipping hook needs that instant pressure to pop it out of the plastic and then go in. You may not get that in every scenario if you're flipping through cover. If you use an EWG hook, you're gonna actually hook them a little bit better, and it actually hangs them. They actually hang from it. You can pull them into the cover and they have a hard time getting enough leverage to flip around and get the hook to come out. It's definitely going to be less efficient, but if you do get the bite, your landing percentage will go up. Now, this is not a really high landing percentage scenario for really big fish, but a lot of times that's how you win, is you put yourself in enough positions to get enough of those bigger bites. You've got to get them in the boat. So at 59%, that's the way we calculate it when we designed this rod. But take those tricks, get yourself a Mag Hitter, 65-pound braid, big hooks, EWG hook, and hopefully you guys catch more fish. Hope you guys like this video. We like to geek out when we design rods. It's a math project. It's a bunch of engineers that are arguing over percentages. It's because we want you guys to land more fish, cash more checks, take more hardware home. Thanks for watching, guys, and God bless.